add another chapter to the amazing saga of the wild turkey. The continuing story of this resourceful bird finds us in part 2 of our most incredible spring ever. This volume includes another 15 hunts from 8 states. The star of our first hunt is the eastern longbeard of Kansas. Let's see if Brother Mark can call one in for a successful harvest. Sitting through an intense call and response session sure gets your blood pumping. Minutes pass like seconds when you're patiently waiting for a gobbler to appear.
Of all the hunts we've ever had, I don't think we've ever been next to an old building.
Well, an old house, an old canoe. You couldn't ask for a neater deal. What time is it? Noon, straight up, baby.
Straight up, man. Good deal. Good shot,
good
buddy.
Job. Great calling.
Fun.
Fun.
Well, Terry, this story unfolded like it came straight out of Turkey and Turkey Hunting magazine. I mean,
right behind the old rock house here, you know. There's been a couple guys that have been watching some birds strutting this little green patch. Isn't this awesome for midday? I mean,
beautiful. You know, we haven't been having much luck early in the morning. They've been henned up, but it's typical, you know, 11:30, the hens start to move off and they start gobbling a little bit better. So
actually, Tad and I had poor luck. We couldn't get a bird to work at all this morning. They were henned up tight. But you and Brian had some luck, did you not?
I still hear a hen yelping. Yeah. She's probably looking for her man. I wonder if he didn't leave her. Yeah, we did have some luck, and it just unfolded good. But I always enjoy you and I having the opportunity to actually go out together, because it's rare, because we're oftentimes hosting other people or going with other guests and whatnot. So it's not often you and I get to kill one together.
I know, I enjoy it. You're the hottest guy in camp, baby.
Yeah, right. Boy, what a beard on this turkey.
Isn't that a pretty bird?
Really pretty.
Well, let's go see if we can get you killing one.
We'll do it, man.
Let's go.
Good bird, good hunt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good shot.
It's always a pleasure to hunt with Mark, especially when you see a bird like that. Now, here's the first of many pro tips from our good friends at Turkey and Turkey Hunting magazine.
Nothing answered. You know what I like to do is switch off calls, because sometimes what turns a turkey on one time won't another. So I'd like to bring a variety of calls. I'll switch from mouth calls to like the super illuminator here. And the difference in the sounds sometimes will crank them. And I think it's different frequencies, whatever it is, and we like to use high frequencies to locate, but it's the difference in the sounds. So be versatile, use different calls, switch up.
Hunting the magnificent Rio longbeard of Texas can be tricky. Sometimes a hunter needs to go that extra mile to successfully harvest one. Hopefully, John's extra effort will pay off. Like a textbook hunt, this gobbler comes right up to the decoy, just a few steps away from John.
Wow, what an exciting hunt. We're here on the Rocker B in West Texas, and I'll tell you, this the key to this hunt was last night we roosted this gobbler with the coyote howler, and we knew exactly what tree they were in. So we got within a couple hundred yards, and we didn't even call. We waited till the turkey started flying down before we made our first call, and I made one, maybe two calls on the shipwreck, and this turkey got so excited he actually ran past our location. As you can see, it's kind of thick in this bottoms area with little open green spots. And as soon as he saw the feather flex decoys, though, he came running right back and strutted up. He was actually within 3 steps of where I was sitting, and right in front of that Jake decoy. And finally, I was calling, trying to get him to lift his head up, and finally he lifted his head up just enough. and I harvested my second nice Rio Grande gobbler here on the Rocker B. I'll tell you, this hunt was a thrill. It's a hunt I'll remember for a long, long time, and I'll be back to West Texas to hunt the Rocker B Ranch.
John's hard work paid off with another thrilling hunt. I can never get enough of those incredibly close encounters. Now it's Dave Reisner's turn to tangle with one of those challenging Rio Longbeards. Let's see how Dave and John Odell use tandem calling to pull in another beautiful Rio.
Where was that one? I think out here. There's one. There's another one over there. Yeah, right there. Oh, here he comes. Yeah, this one's coming quicker. Oh, there he is, Dave, right there.
Congratulations,
This is
buddy.
awesome, John.
That was awesome.
This finally, we get to hunt together like this, and you know, we don't get to do that too often because usually I'm always either filming you or you're filming me, and this time you kind of actually got to be a spectator along with it. And
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it. This turkey put on a show.
well, and yours
When he
this
jumped on
morning,
that decoy, I mean,
that was awesome.
I wasn't even a hunter. My heart was just pounding. I mean, that's what turkey hunting's all about. To see that, experience that.
They're into it hard right now. They're breeding. I mean,
You
they're
can tell.
henned up.
You can tell they're henned up, but they're interested.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we hit them with a different call, they gobble. So you
Yep.
can tell they're interested in hens. They're just, like you said, they're henned up. But when you get one by itself, the two that have come in ran in.
Yeah.
I mean, he covered 400 yards in a matter of minutes.
We thought, you know, we were setting up for these,
Right.
and he came in a lot quicker, and it
Rios are just
was
gorgeous.
awesome. They just love to gobble and strut. I mean, they've been putting on shows for us this morning.
I'll tell you what, you can't beat this Rocker B Ranch in West Texas. It's a
Opening
great
morning,
people, great
like
place to hunt.
10 o'clock, we've killed 2 of them.
It's unreal.
How typical does this look? Coming out of a large block of timber into a huge field. It's a hunting situation pretty much every turkey hunter encounters. The key in these situations is not to barge out in that field, because oftentimes, as you no doubt know, turkeys love to be in these open areas, strut, hens feeding, what have you. Typically when you approach a field like this, all I could do, get my face mask on, just kind of ease up to the edge where I can glass it with binoculars, make sure there's not a strutter, a bunch of turkeys in the corners out in the middle of the field, And then what I'll do is just slip it from tree to tree, just kind of ease out there, looking constantly, making sure there aren't turkeys anywhere, and finally get to the edge where I can see and make sure, and then continue on.
A gorgeous foggy Florida morning is the setting for a dramatic appearance from a strutting Osceola. Watching the field, an Osceola suddenly appears in the foggy distance. This gobbler gives an excellent performance as he slowly works his way into range.
Chris, man, what a hunt, what a hunt.
Oh, buddy.
I tell you, that was pretty.
I'm telling you. Is that a pretty Osceola turkey or what?
That is a gorgeous bird.
For opening weekend, I appreciate it.
Hey, it was my pleasure. I really enjoyed this.
Couldn't get in here till late last night, but you'd been here and patterning these birds, scouting them. You know, that's the whole key. When you're turkey hunting or deer hunting or anything, knowing where they want to go and putting yourself in a position right there.
Yeah.
And you took us in, you had birds roosting on the left of us, the right of us. And
we heard some gobbling to the left.
We did. And we split that difference and set up right there and said, look, we're going to set up right here and call and kind of see what happens.
It was perfect.
This turkey right here was really hot for an Osceola. I've never heard one gobble like that. Look at those wings, that dark wing right there. And flew down real early.
Yeah, he did.
And we actually had to hold back on our call a little bit till he came in. But I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better. And I just want to thank you for all your help. That was an awesome
That
hunt,
was a
man.
fun hunt.
Really
Sure
was. I thought we could make a turkey gobbler here, but some days they gobble good and some days they don't. You know, I've written hundreds of outdoor magazine articles over the years, all aspects of the sport, all aspects of hunting and fishing. One of the very favorite companies I've ever written for is Krause Publications. They're out of Iola, Wisconsin. You've probably heard of a couple of their flagship magazines, Deer and Deer Hunting, Turkey and Turkey Hunting. I'm fortunate enough to be a columnist and a feature writer for Turkey and Turkey Hunting, and that gives me the opportunity to do what I love, and that's write about turkey hunting year-round. Now at Turkey and Turkey Hunting, we try to bring you feature articles and columns on all aspects of the sport, informational stories, entertainment, and where to go. And they do the same thing over at Deer and Deer Hunting also. So remember that name, Krause Publications. Look for their magazines across the country on newsstands.
Here's the first of two awesome hunts from newcomer Brad Meyer. As an experienced hunter, Brad has seen many things, but few have been as surprising as what you'll see when he calls in an eastern gobbler.
Nothing going on down in here. I'm just gonna head back on out of here, just kind of work these ridges. I'm gonna work my way back out through this hollow and see if I can strike up a bird here. It's mid-morning and usually a guy can fire one up, but we'll just keep after it, see what happens. I tell you, what an awesome morning. We're hunting down here in Iowa and we didn't have any luck off the roost this morning. The birds, they went the other way as it happens. And we come out here on these ridges, it's mid-morning, we was just doing a little cutting and running. And we couldn't get no response, so we was backing out of here going to another area. And I spotted this gobbler down in there just kind of feeding his way along the edge of a green field, and we were lucky enough to duck down and get back here and get set up on him, and called him right in. He spotted the Featherflex decoy and come around in front to try and make eye contact, and we were able to harvest him. And it's just a beautiful bird, a nice adult tom, nice beard, beautiful fan, and the Mad Max just put him down. It was Just a great day and a beautiful harvest. Couldn't be happier. Man, a 5 barbed wired fence like this low to the ground, a sure obstacle for most gobblers, but throw a few mad calls at them and might surprise you what'll happen.
Talk about putting it all together. In an instant, Brad spotted his bird, swiftly backed out, and quickly set up. An improbable entry from under the fence, and then a great shot on the run were the ingredients for this thrilling hunt.
Let's check him right here. Oh, right there, right there, right there. Let's get set up right here.
Once again, John Odell and Dave Reisner team up to harvest another Rio Longbeard. Here's Dave filming John, and for the first time ever, we're providing our viewers with a third-party view of all the action of filming a hunt.
There's the turkey.
Enjoy this sequence as the star of this hunt, a gorgeous Rio Longbeard, gives an award-winning performance.
Now that is a Rio Grande turkey, my friends. Wow. It just does not get any better than this. We're here in West Texas and it's opening morning, and we had roosted these turkeys the night before. They were roosting back in a big pecan tree along this creek bottom, and they were henned up this morning, so it took us a while. We wanted to be conservative since it's the first morning, so we set up and we gradually worked our way in. There's still some other gobblers with hens gobbling off in the distance, but we put the decoys out and kept the calling to a minimum, and he came running in, and boy did he put on a show. What a gorgeous turkey. Rio Grandes are just beautiful.
Here's another look at John's hunt. This time, you'll get an insider's view of the actual production and see exactly how Dave filmed this hunt in the field.
I think we can bring him right in through here. Put the teeth right there. Should be right. Yeah, right there.
John's calling puts this running Rio on a path right towards him. The excitement builds as he starts to strut by the Featherflex decoy.
It just does not get any better than this. We're here in West Texas and it's opening morning. And we had roosted these turkeys the night before. They were roosting back in a big pecan tree along this creek bottom. And they were henned up this morning, so it took us a while.
You may be wondering who was the second cameraman on that hunt. None other than good friend John Frank.
Well, instead of calling, let's just get up here and set the decoys up, and then we'll strike and see what happens. All right? Because I think he's got to be right in here if he's still here. I'd rather put the decoys out first than you know, I don't want to call and have him come. Let's get set up.
Taking his turn in front of the camera, John Frank is looking to harvest his first ever Rio Longbeard.
Well, congratulations.
Put her there, partner.
What a gorgeous turkey.
I sure appreciate your calling skills. He had no clue we weren't real hens.
No, they were definitely henned up this morning, and when we saw him off by himself, we knew if we could get set up, that was the key. Without spooking him, we thought we had a good chance of killing him. And
Absolutely.
I'd say it worked.
Absolutely.
I appreciate having the opportunity to have a front row seat. I don't get to do that very often. I just didn't have to run the camera, didn't have to shoot. I just got to kick back and enjoy. So I appreciate it. Congratulations on your first Rio Grande turkey.
It was absolutely fabulous hunt. It was the craziest scenario. We killed yours first thing this morning, then we killed Dave's within probably an hour. We took a couple hours to find some more birds, and here we are, right back on them.
So what do you think of the Rocker Bee?
Rocker Bee Ranch is fabulous, and I absolutely cannot wait to come back and hunt some of these monster bucks.
All right, well let's pack it up and go get some lunch.
do it just instinctively, but when you first enter into a timber or you first are walking and talking, do a soft call first, because sometimes there may be a gobbler that's only like 50 yards away or just over the side of this hill, and that's why I did one soft series before I started really cutting and running. And we struck turkeys that way, just doing that soft one. And sometimes if you go right into that hard series, you'll spook that turkey and you'll never know he was even there. So that's just a good tip that can help you out next spring.
Our story now takes us back to our home state with old friends Steve Kuhn and Don Ship.
I think he's coming to this field while he was gobbling and traveling. Maybe we've gotten ahead of him. Let's call and see if we can get him to gobble if he is. I think we'll be between him and that field. We should be about right. All right. Yeah, he's just over that ridge. I believe he'll come right in here, right down that little finger right there. We should be about right. Let's just set up right here.
Admire the beautiful display of this gorgeous eastern as he struts his stuff for the camera.
How about that, man?
Oh, Don,
That's
great.
a nice spur. That's a pretty turkey.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations,
Thanks.
man. I enjoyed
Thanks.
that.
It was unbelievable.
He got right behind us. I mean, right behind where we were trying to call the turkey to. And of course, he was gobbling at it. He was gobbling every time that cow would yelp, he would gobble. But when he flew down, he acted like he won't have any part of coming right there. And maybe he was spooked from that coyote a little bit or whatever. But he went around, and we followed him a little bit, and he'd gobble, but he'd move away, gobble, move away. And finally we said, well, we know there's this green field over here, and he's headed that direction. So instead of following him, we just come around like we know we should have done. Come around and got ahead of him and got between him and the field, and when we sat down, he started gobbling a little better. And wasn't he pretty coming off that ridge right over there?
He was just strutting down that point there. Boy, I tell you what.
He'd start off one way, and like he was looking for the hen. We wasn't calling a whole lot. And when I'd call, he'd turn and he'd come right back. And it just like we had him on a string when we got where we needed to be.
Yep.
But before that, we couldn't do anything with him. But that's just turkey hunting. That's when they decide they're going somewhere, that's where they're going to go. Yep. And if you get there, you're in good shape.
Great
Congratulations,
Thanks,
man.
sir.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
That's a fine turkey.
What a hunt.
It's 7:30. We're going to try to roost some birds this evening. Here lately, we've been roosting them at 8, quarter after, right when that sun's starting to set. We've been having a little trouble with the coyote holler and the owl hooting. They're just not gobbling too good on the limb. So our tactic tonight is we're going to get in here about 7:30, quarter to 8, try some yelping. Hopefully we can get one going to the roost by yelping. At that point, we hopefully will get them close on that limb, get in tight on them, and in the morning it should be a good hunt. So we're going to try doing some yelping tonight.
That's where they've always been in the even going towards the roost. So hopefully we'll keep making them gobble, get tight on them. So we're gonna keep working at them, keep them gobbling until we can get closer. Make sure he is there.
Here's the beginning of an action-packed morning as Jim Cassida waits for an eastern gobbler to come down out of the roost.
Just went to the far right and I could see the top limb through the scope. Finally got clear of it. But as you can tell from looking at the brush I shot out, there was more in the way than that, and I could see the turkey good, but obviously I didn't see the limbs in front of me nearly as well. And all I did was clear a path in the blind.
After waiting for the field to clear, Jim relocated to find another interested gobbler.
You know, he's gobbled twice right there. He's got to be in that next field. I think we need to get up, ease on out of here. We got some time. He's not that close. It sounds like he's coming. I think we need to move on him. We can just go and get on up here because the last 3 times, he cut you off the last 2 times. He's gobbling every time. So if we can just get on up here and close a little ground on him, we'll be in good shape. He's right up here somewhere because he's come all the way across that road. I'm sure I feel confident he's going to come. As long a distance he's already made, we can just get him where we can see him now. But we don't dare move anymore. See him up there, he's going to the left. Here's his head, he's east and left. There, I need to get turned around. I think he'll come around that point down to that grass is what he'll most likely do. Well, it's mid-morning, and after a typical Jim Cassida foul up, we've got a big, long spurred turkey here. Started out, turkey's pouring off of a beautiful bluff, just flying in right in front of us. And after they strutted around, I proceeded to shoot the biggest stick in our blind, dead as a stone, and we watched turkeys go in every direction. Didn't really spook them, but the big gobbler went off. Left there with our hearts in our hands, or at least mine. Came back here, set up. This turkey came a long way, and he's a fine one to take out of the gene pool. Really fine, thick, 10.5, 11-inch beard. Lovely, heavy, healthy turkey with big spurs. Just a beautiful bird, and every sense. Look at that sunlight and that iridescence off of that fan. Just a turkey that you dream about. This is what keeps you coming back. What makes a marvelous Missouri morning. Just a wonderful hunt. I always feel privileged. You get a big bird like this, look at how those wings are worn down. He has done some serious strutting. Just a turkey that will live especially in my memory after the miss.
One last visit to our home state for yet another exciting morning of seeing a magnificent eastern gobbler come down out of the roost for good friend and turkey hunting photographer John Phillips.
Boy, what a beautiful bird. I tell you what, this is one of the prettiest easterns I believe I've ever taken. Big, heavy bird. He's going to weigh 22, 23 pounds. Full fan. And look at these spurs. 1.25 inch, 1.5 spur. Really sharp. This is a 3 or 4 year old bird. The age of bird that you really want to take. Out here in this mustard field, seeing him come across there, strutting and drumming and talking like a big bird. Life doesn't get any better than this, and I really appreciate the Drury brothers inviting me to come up here to Missouri, their home state, and be able to take a fine, fine bird like this. Life just doesn't get any better than this.
Now here's John with another pro tip from Turkey and Turkey Hunting Magazine. What would be the, I'm going to say maybe the number one mistake, or maybe the number one thing that you would want to advise somebody to do to make sure that their photography is usable?
Right now we've got a perfect setup. If you'll look, Terry, my shadow is out of the way of the picture. I don't have my shadow across you or the bird.
Good point.
Look at the bird's head. It's almost glowing. We got plenty of good light on the bird's head. Look at his feathers, the way they are iridescent in the sun. And if you notice, when I get ready to shoot this shot, I'm going to get down low and get close so that I fill up the frame with you and the turkey. And the closer you get, the better it is. You want to make sure you fill up the frame with the picture.
You're talking about cropping. I assume you're trying to get everything from the left side, maybe left shoulder, all the way over into the right side, and then top of the hat to where the hat is cropped properly. That's one of probably the photos that we see the most often, or where above the guy's head there's 4 or 5 foot, and maybe in front of the turkey there's 4 or 5 foot. And the other one we see is somebody standing up and the guy's looking up, a bird's eye instead of a worm's eye view.
Get all the way down on the ground and you shoot it just like that.
And you're slightly elevate, you're actually looking up just a little bit on an incline.
Right.
Rather than looking down. So
Right.
the top of the hat and the front of the turkey's head and the side of the shoulders or the fan is all that's within that frame.
That's
Safe
it.
title, I guess we'd call it, huh?
If you spend a little bit more time making the pictures, they'll be 400% better.
Back in his own home state, Dave Reisner has his eyes set on harvesting one of those big Iowa eastern gobblers. Once again, the Featherflex Decoy manages to pull in a mature bird, setting up a successful hunt.
Doing your homework. I'd scouted this last night, and I'd saw 4 gobblers in this field with a couple hens. We still have 2 turkeys in the tree behind us, and I think he's probably a 2-year-old, just couldn't take it, he had to come in. This is exciting. This is what scouting is all about, doing your preseason scouting, knowing where the birds want to be when they fly off a roost. I suppose I'm gonna have to go split these 2 turkeys off the roost now. I think we've done our damage already anyway. Opening day.
Wow, what an awesome morning to be out. Although it's a little chilly, we had a cold front come through. We just have passed a couple nice, beautiful days up in the 60s, and today it dropped down to, it's 30-degree weather today. But when you've done your preseason scouting, I watched this turkey last night feed out in this field for over an hour and a half. I saw him basically go to roost. I saw a couple other longbeards go to roost and a few hens, and I knew this is in the general vicinity where they wanted to be. And you put out your Featherflex decoys, you get here in the dark, and they brought him right in. These Featherflex decoys do it every single time for us, I think. It's a beautiful turkey. He's long spurred. He's definitely a three-year-old, at least 3-year-old turkey, and you can't ask for much more on opening day. Be done within about the first 45 minutes of light. So beautiful, beautiful hunt.
You know, this is a good point. I've got these decoys a good 6, 7, 8 yards apart, and the reason for that is it's late season, and we like to employ a couple different tactics. Early in the season, we like to have the Jake and hen right next to each other, or even sometimes stacked on top of each other in that breeding position that's getting a lot of publicity right now. But late in the season, I like to separate them more. The birds have been hunted, they've been spooked around decoys, and you have more subdominant birds that you may be trying to hunt. And sometimes if they're stacked right on top of each other, you won't get some of those birds to maybe commit. So I like to employ a couple different tactics. Switch it around, especially if you hunt the same ground a lot. Don't do the same decoy setup every time out, and I think it'll help you be more successful next time out.
What a glorious sight. A tall Texas Rio Longbeard slowly strutting in for Richard Sens to set his sights on.
Well, we set up for an afternoon hunt. It's been real windy today, so we decided to call sparingly with high frequency calls. Paid off like a charm. He came out with a bunch of hens, and when I was able to make the shot, I went ahead and took him. I was real lucky to get this bird. He's just absolutely gorgeous. One of my best reel hunts ever. Just awesome.
You know, something that we don't normally mention is the fact that the Super Illuminator has been the result of our success since day one. I've never seen a call that has more consistently struck turkeys than the Super Illuminator. And what do you have to do to be in turkeys? You got to strike them. You have to know where they're at before you can hunt them. This Super Illuminator, when no other call in your vest works, it works. It's unbelievable. And you know, it's one of those calls I don't know what I'd do without it. I will not hunt without one, I can tell you that right now. It's
unbelievable. Once again, here's Brad Meyer. This time he's bow hunting in his home state in search of another gorgeous eastern longbeard. While Brad is still getting set up, a gobbler suddenly appears.
Now that is what you do when you get up in the morning. I wasn't even set up on this bird 5 minutes and I peeked out of the window and in he come, and I mean, this is why you get up morning after morning, man. This is what drives you mad about spring gobblers. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. No, that is a morning to remember. I can't believe how quick that bird was in here on top of us. I mean, we weren't even set up here 5 minutes and this bird was here. It seemed to be that he was off the roost a little early, but it could be just me, you know, getting set up. I don't realize how long it takes you. But last night I was down in the valley here and I got this bird to gobble up here. I couldn't pinpoint his exact location, but we came up here this morning, weren't able to get him to gobble early either. So we just decided to let him see if he'd gobble on his own, and luck at it, he did, and we were able to slip right in here nice and tight on him. And I didn't even fully get set up in the blind this morning. I peeked out the window and there he was, full strut with Jake coming beeline right for the decoy. So I slipped my release on quick, was able to get an arrow knocked and put a perfect shot placement on just an awesome eastern gobbler. And I'm telling you, this is a hunt that I'll never forget. Guy can hunt from dark to dark some days and not even strike a bird. And today wasn't one of those days. Today it just seemed to all fall right into place, and luck always plays a big part in a lot of hunts, but I'm glad it was my day. And just a beautiful bird, beautiful fan, nice good beard, good spurs. I couldn't be happier. It's truly what drives you mad about hunting these spring gobblers.
Here's an unbelievable hunt in beautiful Colorado with good friend and expert caller Tad Brown.
Dad, that tree up there, just the side of it. There's one lone Tom up there feeding around. Okay, why don't you drop off here to this creek bottom and walk up there to that bush, and I'll stay back here. My decoy blew over, but he's coming.
This is the first part of a two-part hunt, and the star of this hunt, a beautiful longbeard, gives a truly mind-boggling performance.
Here he comes. Caps are back at the truck.
Amazingly, this gobbler did not immediately flee after Tad's agonizing misfire. Instead, he continued to strut by the Featherflex decoy for several more minutes.
I ain't believing this. I cannot believe he came so good and that gun as far as he just strutted on by. He's not disturbed. I'm gonna crawl out of here and get Scott's gun.
With a little luck, Tad's hoping that bird will still be around for a second chance. Unbelievably, this determined gobbler gives Tad a second chance.
Here he comes.
In hunting, not often are you given many second chances, but for one reason or another, Tad was blessed with a second chance to harvest a truly magnificent bird.
That was such an intense hunt. My decoy even got tired and fell over, took a break. Oh, goodness sakes alive, I swear. Oh, what a great turkey. I left my caps in the truck and I couldn't take another shot. So I've got to know if this thing would have went off had I had another cap. So here she goes. Well, Remington saved me anyway.
Remington saved the day, yeah.
I'm glad you were thinking what I was thinking. I mean, when this muzzleloader misfired, I just couldn't believe it. And I thought this bird, he gobbled at the shot And then he turned and strutted right up to my decoy, and she blew over.
Yeah.
But he was still in love with her. I mean, he just stood there.
Stood there. And we had this creek right here where I, just come right up to you. We could switch the guns. I mean, it couldn't have been any more perfect.
Yeah, I slipped up the creek to get set up just to hide, and I was just set up here at the first bush, and luckily it was close enough, and I didn't call anymore, and he faded off out of my sight, and I took a chance over the creek, and then as soon as I got over the creek, I seen you coming.
Yeah, I knew what
what
you were doing, and
I was tickled to see you coming with the Remington, and we switched. I was lucky enough to get back in, and I got back in and called, and that silly thing gobbled. He hadn't went 50 or 60 yards from me, and boy, it wasn't long, and I seen that old white head, and he come strutting right back to her, and I was lucky and got a shot. I'll tell you what, that does not happen very often.
Not very often, no.
Not very often. Well, buddy, thanks for a great Colorado hunt.
Congratulations.
Beautiful turkey, and it was a great hunt. I got to watch a lot of pretty strutting up close.
You'll never have another one like that.
That was a great hunt. I appreciate you bringing that gun up.
It was a unique hunt.
All the way over here on a red hot turkey, and there's the reason why it wouldn't work. Obviously it's a creek he wasn't about to cross. Kind of brings to mind just how important that is, getting to know barriers or potential obstacles that can kind of hang a turkey up or prevent him from working toward you. Obviously the best way to get around that is to know the land, scout it before the season, find where these things are, and learn to take them out of play. Get on the other side of the creek with them, other side of a fence, other side of deadfalls, things like that. Any type of barrier like that. It can make all the difference. Your calling always sounds better if you're where that turkey wants to go, and if you're where he's comfortable working, you're going to kill him more times than not. In this case, we've got to get with that turkey and get away from this creek.
I'm going to set up right down in this creek. I know there's turkeys in here every year, and I just got here in South Dakota. So I'm just going to go set up here, and we'll see what happens, make a few calls.
Our final hunt takes us to South Dakota, where Dave Reisner hopes to complete a grand slam by harvesting a mature Merriam Longbeard.
Wow, what an awesome quick hunt. I just got here to South Dakota this afternoon, checked in the hotel. This is the first field I hit. As I know in past, I've seen a lot of turkeys in this creek bottom. So I set up in the bottom, set my decoys out, made 6 or 7 calls, and kind of, I had my gun up ready, and a turkey comes right around the corner. And I didn't have my red dot off though, because I really wasn't expecting one that quick. And he kind of caught me getting my red dot off, and so I elected to take him before I let him get all the way to the decoys. But just an awesome quick hunt. I mean, this is why I come to South Dakota, hunt these beautiful turkeys, and they're usually pretty callable turkeys. So awesome, beautiful.
We truly hope you've enjoyed this video and continue to enjoy it with each viewing. All of us at Drury Outdoors are sincerely thankful for your participation. Good luck in the field, and please hunt smart and hunt safe.